Welcome to the Pokey Needle. I am Hannah, and this is a channel about cross stitch and maybe some other crafty shenanigans. It has been a long time. I feel like I don't even know how to begin anymore. Thank you for joining me. I want to share today a little WIP parade. I have a stack of WIPs. I actually took them out of bags. Look at that. They're all ready to go. My bags are all tagged, so it should be easy. In theory, we'll try it to pop them all right back in the bags when I'm done. I try to get things in order because these things, y'all, if you've never done a WIP parade, they're daunting to put together. I have around 30 WIPs. I think 32, but I don't know because I stitch every day and things get finished, right? So I might be a little more organized than some and way less organized than others. I try to grab a few stats. I really haven't even done my 2025 wrap up as far as stats, so I don't know how many projects I stitched on and all of that. But with the WIP parade, I know that it is sometimes just fun to pull out all the projects, see what everybody's working on, and just listen to the chitter chatter. So I'm going to try not to tangent and babble too much, but I do want to just share what I've been working on with you guys. So I did not get my flosses out for this. I have a few boards here, so hopefully, like, my lighting is a mess. I misplaced my light bulb for my big light. I put it somewhere safe. So anyway, so let's just jump into the cross stitch. And oh yeah, and if anybody's like, what's wrong with your camera, my mouth, part of I fell and got a head injury and it messed up my jaw, and so now I have braces and I haven't had pain in 6 months. So praise God on that one. And yeah, we're just living our best middle school life now, and it's fine, but it's a little bit weird. I'd say you get used to it, but I haven't been used to it, and I got these on like 6 months ago. So, yeah, projects. I stitch a variety of projects, and I'll just go through like I don't think I'm gonna talk about plans today. I'm gonna film. Okay, so you're gonna get a WIP parade, and then I'm gonna film a finished parade and show you all the eye candy from the last year or last couple years that, like, you guys haven't even seen half the stuff I stitched last year because I disappeared. And then I am going to film a normal floss tube and I'll talk about all my plans and all that. Let's jump into the cross stitch, shall we? Okay, my first project I want to share with you is, oh, charts. One chart at a time, please. Okay, Cottage Garden Samplings, Year in the Woods, the Bald Eagle. So I am stitching this series, and I will show you because it's still out on one of my projects. The first one I did was the bear, and it sat for a while because I messed up some colors. I decided to figure out how to finish it, and so then I started the Bald Eagle. And I love this series. Y'all, I am so in love with the new cardinal. I can't wait to get that one. But next up is the fox. So we are going to get this stitched up. I've actually been working on it the last few days on his wings. This is 2/2 on a 28 count, picture this plus Jade Lugana, and it's a pretty good color. If it's reading gray, it's actually pretty green. It's not really a mint green, but it's along those lines. So I started this in May 19th, 2024 for Mania. So I had the idea in Mania to start like 24 things, I guess, because it was 2024, because I thought I'd get them done quicker. And that's just silliness. So I don't mind having a lot of WIPs. Right now I have 30, and by this time next year, I actually hope to have twice as many. Is that silly? I don't know. Because I like the idea of getting things, if I have them kitted to get them started, I'm more likely to pull them out and not be like, I don't know where to start on this, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me. So anyway, I pulled similar to called for. I know the color I'm stitching right now, this gray, is called for. And so I'm trying to make it look like the picture, which, where did I put it? Here. There we go. I think the original was stitched on Valor. And jade is a little bit brighter. This one is at 57% done, and I know it's a little bit patriotic, and so in my mind, this is my patriotic stitch for the month. I don't have any goals to get it done other than I want to start the next one and the next one, so it'll just get done when it gets done. Let me think. I'm thinking out loud, apparently. Sorry. Yeah, so I stitched this in July and then I just picked it up. So it hasn't gotten very much progress. Very, very sweet. I like it. I like her designs. There's only a couple that I'm kind of like the owl. I know it's true to form. This little, it's like cockeyed to me. I don't know. Y'all are gonna get my weirdness. I'm sorry about that. Some days I'm relaxed and normal, and some days I'm just chipper. I guess I'm chipper. It's a chipper day. Okay, next WIP is an old WIP. It is from the Mystery Stitch Along with Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It is Castle Homecoming or Castle Celebration. I'm not sure which way. I've seen, I know I've seen multiple people working on this. Is it Stitching Mommy? She's getting along and getting it done. Julie, the Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. She finished this fast, and she did some color changes, and I was like, I should do some color changes. But I hadn't done color changes, and because I was kind of a new stitcher. I started it, did I write down when I started it? I don't know when I started it. I think it was May or June in 2023. I started on the called for fabric, which was Valor, and I'm stitching 2 over 2 on 28 count Valor. I've recently just got this border done up here just to see like the entirety of the piece, and this might read, fabric will read more modeled on camera for whatever reason that it is. It's actually not that modeled. I mean, it's modeled, but it's not that pungent. I would have totally changed things, but I think I was too new of a stitcher, and it's nothing the designer did. It's just personally, like this lighter green up here is just kind of pea green to me, and on the fabric, I'm like, So it's a brighter stitch. I would have stitched on different fabric. I would have changed some of the colors to almost be less playful, but then I was so far into it that it's like, I just get it done how it is. And then if I decide someday I don't really want it, I'll gift it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But I am at, I think I'm 75–80% done. I have so many, I don't know, just little things to fill in here and there, because parts came out with this. I did good in the middle because that was the first couple months. And so I was stitching like, there's me and there's my husband. And so I was like, people that I know and love, I was adding them to the chart, right? And then I fell behind, and then I just decided I'm going to stitch what I want to stitch, where I want to stitch. And so I'm all over the place. So I want to show you this really quick. It has nothing to do with anything. Well, it does, because I just showed you the last one. So here's the bear that I finished on the Valor. And I got paused on him for a long time because when I was stitching, I flipped to these colors. So like the white color was put where the light brown color was. And so this is not true to the charting. And so many of you guys said, oh, just keep going. And so I just needed to fix his face because like it would have been really weird. And so I just kind of finished it how I finished it, and we're going to call it good because I think the artistic element of it is fine for the mistakes I made. I think I make mistakes in everything. I don't know if that's normal, It happens. It's cool. It's art, right? Okay, this next chart I do not have a chart for because I didn't print it out. So I'll just pop in some pictures as we talk about them. This is Seeds by Jed X Stitch. I have been wanting to stitch this for years and years, and I know that Jessica's charts are blowing up, and of course I love them. A lot of people are stitching the Cherry Magpie. I really want to get my hands on that blueberry one, but I want to start some other things first. So this one I started stitching last year. This is Spring Seeds, and I got this done last spring. So this is based off of Zelda. For all you gamers out there, I am a Zelda fan. We'll just put it that way. These are the cute little Koroks. They're just cute little creatures that pop out of the woods. So there's a lot of Zelda-esque things, if you know, especially like Breath of the Wild. These are the cherry blossom trees that have a significance. This flower, it's like the Zelda flower, the silent princess. So as I look at this, I see bits of the game and it makes my heart happy. So I am stitching the 4 seasons, and I was trying to get them done in a year, and that didn't happen. So we'll do it in 2. Let me tell you, I started this May 18th last year. So I guess it was late spring. And then I got jumped into summer and then life, right? So I started winter. I'm jumping ahead. I started winter January 7th. So summer, back to summer. Summer is at 53%. It's on 36 count, fiber on a whim, cypress linen, 1/2. I love this linen. I think this was the called for, and her colors are so bright, and I wouldn't naturally do that. And I was like, okay, going for it. So this one is at 53% done. Got the outline of his little face. I know that this is the start of a fish. Obviously the start of a tree. And Summer has, like, the fish is underwater, but he's on the hill in front of, like, I don't know. You know, if you're a gamer, you know, like the pixels, the depth, I don't know. So I got that much done, and then I stopped. So now I'm doing winter, and I am hoping to get this done. It's at 42%, and I stitched it this month, and I'm hoping to finish it next month. And I love how white pops on the cypress linen. So there's not too much coming in, like, to even talk about on this one. There's a little Korok guy, but I love these. So I have to finish these 2. I'd like to get done in spring and then get the autumn one done. Yeah, so that's I call it Korok seeds, but I don't think Korok is actually in the name. And good job, Jessica, for, like, breaking out and cross stitch, because you're rocking it, girl. So let's see, what's next? Honey of a Tiny Town. So I started in 2024, Bring on the Bees, Sal, and I stitched all the things, and I don't even think you guys have hardly seen them. So I have this cute, adorable little start on Honey of a Tiny Town. Oh, let me show you the chart. So this is Heart in Hand, Honey of a Tiny Town. I think y'all are familiar with the tiny towns. Is this my first tiny town? Maybe. I can't remember. So I don't know if I'm stitching with Called for Floss, but I'm stitching with similar to Called for Floss. So this is on 32 count Legacy Lugana, and I think it's 1/2. It's kind of a tighter weave, so I wanted to stitch it 1/2. I think it looks pretty good. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't know where you guys look. Did I tell you my lighting's not normal because I lost my light bulb? I put it somewhere safe. I think I said that, but whatever. Yeah, so this one's great. I think it's adorable. I love the colors. I can't, I don't know what my obsession with bees is. I don't really know. So I started this August 17th, 2024, and I like to stitch on bees in August. And last year, while I was doing construction stuff, I managed to get a few other bee projects knocked out. So this is the one that I have remaining. It is at 46%, so more done than it seems, I guess. But it did not get any stitches in 2025. So I want to get that done soon. Maybe I'll pull it out in August. Maybe I'll try to knock it out before. My next piece is My Home Sweet Home by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. And this one, when did I start this? I started this patriotic stitching, June 17th of last year. So I did this in June for some patriotic stitching and the strawberries, right? So you got like, it's like double duty there. I am stitching this on 32 count raw linen. And this one is 2/2. So I think sometimes it just depends on the piece, whether I do 1/2 or 2/2 on 32 count. Anything over that, I'll do 1, and anything under that, I typically do 2 threads. So I brightened up the house a little bit, and I'm trying to stay. I'm stuttering. I'm trying to stay pretty close to the called for. And I am 46%. No, that's the last one. I'm 50%. This is 50%. So this one will get finished pretty quick soon, hopefully. Do we all say that about every piece? It's the smalls. Like, it should be a few days and it's done. I don't know when that'll be though. All right. I think I told you everything about that, right? And if I missed something, guys, just ask. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back at this. I'm trying to be chill and not like be too slow and not be too fast and be like get that perfect porridge level, and I just don't know. I don't know. So you're welcome to have kind constructive criticism or feedback to say, hey, you need to chill out, or hey, you're babbling too much, whatever, because I think we all overthink it. Okay, so this is Reaching Skyward. This is my wonderful black and white printout because I was playing with colors when I first started this one. And I was a fairly new stitcher at this point and thought, let me jump on board. This is Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the 2024 yearly stitch along, big piece. And I jumped on and then I fell off. So I am at 20%. So it's not terrible in the way of amount. This is, I don't know, we probably need a board. Fiber on a Whim, 36 count parchment. And I chose my own colors as one does with Jacob's Designs typically. And here, it's a big piece. So I'll show you, it's like, it's going to take up most of this. Like, I think it'll come to like here. So I'm not doing a very good job. This board, I don't think there's any light behind me, so you probably don't need the board, do you? Okay, now let's get a little bit personal with this one. So we'll start in the corners so you can see the colors. So I went round and round with which colors to pick. So I have, this one's called Chesapeake. It's a blue. And then I picked a light blue, which I think is 926, to just add in. So I have little elements here and here, and I will have them down in here, but I haven't added them yet. And then my third color is actually really variegated. It's I didn't write it down. I think it's River Rock. I'm not sure. It was a color in cotton, and it goes from browns to grays. So I kind of cheated and added, so it's kind of 4 colors, but I really am only stitching with 3. And so here's what happened. I was doing really good with the stitch along, and this might have been my first like stitch along, definitely my first big one, and I had no idea what I was trying to like bite into. So I went down and was doing the sides and came over this middle part. Before I did the top here, I started working my way across this middle. And I'll try to figure out how to show you guys without wrinkling it all up. So if you can just imagine, because my fingers aren't that long to show you, I started on one end and went to the other end, and I had this all filled in, and I was working my way back. So I had the like the blue, the dark blue all filled in. I was working my way back with the browns, and I got all the way over to this square. I have no idea what I did. I was 1 stitch off. And there's such a distinct center mass on this. 1 stitch off, like your eye could actually see it. So then I unpicked thousands of stitches. I think it was a few thousand stitches that had to come out. Like that's significant. And then we just broke away from it. Like I've put in progress, like this last summer, I really started going down, and I think I did all of this in 2025, the middle. So I want to get back to it. Like I absolutely adore this. And the other thing that slowed me down was I should have never decided to customize. So Jacob gave us lots of options for all the places. You can add this, you can change this, you can. So on this chart here, we can change this, we can change these, you can change what goes in here, you can change what goes up there. Like there's so many changes you can make. And from a stitcher standpoint, it's like, yeah, that's cool. But then when you're looking at the original chart, you're like, oh, I was supposed to substitute this here or there. So my chart is in like 3 different files, and I keep jumping back and forth. And the actual stitching, and I found this with modern folk embroidery, the actual stitching, once you figure out the rhythm of going down, like usually you just get like a rhythm that there's not a bunch of jumping around. It's methodical, and I love it. So I just need to get back to this one. It's on my WIP Go. So my WIP Go, I picked 12 projects, I think, which I'll talk about in a future video. But this is one of them, and so each of them will get 2 months where I get some good progress. I wish I could pull this out more often, but I need to make it priority because I don't do that with that one for some reason, because I do like stitching on it. Okay, the next one is Plum Street Samplers, The Gather In. And this is kind of, I realized last night when I pulled the stuff out for it, a little bit sad for me. So I started this one for back to school, 2/2 on 36 count, and that's the problem. And why I did that, I don't know. I got the roofing, guys. And there's a floss, and I don't know why, and I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is on 36 count parchment. I don't stitch anything on 36 count. And it's not, I mean, it's okay. And so part of me thinks, just finish it, stitch maybe 1/2 on everything else and leave the roof 2/2, and who cares? And the other part of me wants to think like, start it over on this side, 1/2. That's about 2,300 stitches out of, I don't know, what is this? This is big. It's like 17,000 or something. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I love the chart. So I don't know. I think this is going to, like in my heart, I think it might have to be a restart at some point. So I have thoughts on that. my thought is finish some other things before I restart. How's everyone doing? I feel like when I get into these WIP parades, I just get like laser focused on details. So if I'm missing something or if I'm just aloof, y'all, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to be hanging out with you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well in the new year. I think life is good. Like, life is precious, life is short, and on the good days, you just gotta celebrate that they're good days. So I tend to be a joyful person because I think I have a lot of good days. I do get bad days, but I have a lot of good days. So I hope you guys have good days. Like, cheers to good days because it matters. And cheers to cross stitch because they make us have good days, I think. They, all those stitches, they do. Okay, next WIP is Cinnamon House by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I started this one January 6, 2024. So you guys see that a lot of these WIPs are older WIPs. I don't know why. I don't know why this one has been sitting. It's like I started it and then I didn't do anything in it since then until this year. So this is one of my WIP Go calls for the month. So here we are. That's the size of it. It is so cute. So I had originally started it. I got like this bottom row done and that was it. So I put in all of this is new. Haven't gotten to the house yet. I think this is all called for. I'm pretty sure this is all called for. And I am stitching this on 30. I feel like my lights are blowing this one out. I'm not sure why. It's like the sheen off of it or something. This is 36 count, color and cotton, white tea linen. And it seems, some of these, I haven't even paid attention. If they're super wrinkly, I'm sorry. I just didn't iron for this. Yeah, so this is 1/2. Gorgeous autumn colors. I have several of the houses. And initially I thought I'm going to stitch them all and like really fast. And that's not going to happen because it's going to take me 2 years to get one of them done. That's silliness. Silliness. Okay. Yeah, so that'll hopefully get done by the next WIP Go call, whenever that is. The next project I am loving and I just want to keep stitching it and I don't know why, but it has its monthly allotment and that's what it gets. This is Plum Street Samplers Autumn Moon. I didn't even know this came out until I was invited to stitch it. That's how gone I've been. I hadn't shopped, I hadn't been on FLOSSTUBE, nothing. So Cindy from the Scrappy Chick Cindy, hey girl, invited me. I am stitching this for a birthday sale with her and Joy, Carolina Stitchers, and Amy Swihart on Instagram. And here's my start. I have adored this. So I like to stitch from bottom left up. I don't know why. I hadn't realized I hadn't even been mentioning how I stitch things. This is 1/2 on, I don't even know, 36 count Zweigart cream ivory linen. And I did not have all the floss when I started stitching this. So I started over here and was going to work on the house. And then I realized I didn't have all the colors. So I have them now. But so I worked my way up to that roof and got that knocked out. Because, I mean, all the house, all this, it's all going to be fill in. So I figured, I think the house, so I broken it up so that hopefully it'll be done by like September or October and I can get it displayed. So I was thinking about for 1,500 stitches a month, and I have 3787 in, so I'm at 25% already. So doing pretty good. But I think the house will take me about 2 months to stitch, which means like I don't know how I don't have any distributions on my months. I didn't break it down. I didn't give myself assignments. I tend to go rogue with assignments and just stitch where I want to stitch because that's what makes my heart happy. So I have a silly little pair of overalls over here for the scarecrow that's going to go in these little corn stalks. And that's what I got done on it. I just, this month I worked on this pumpkin and I filled in all the grass. I worked on this pumpkin. I just really wanted to just get that pumpkin in. I don't know. I didn't get my autumn stitching like normal, and I think I was missing it. So I'm super excited about this one. Um, I don't know which way I'll go with it. Like, I want to stitch all of it like now. Like, I want to get the house done. I love the stonework on the house, that it's brick and stone. Um, I want to get this tree done. Like, I just want to stitch it all today. So, but this is my first moon, like winter moon, and I've seen so many people finishing that one. I really want to get this done, but look at these beautiful colors. Like, just like when I first started it, and I think what I shared on Instagram was after December, it was just basically all black and brown. And now I got some colors in there. It's gorgeous. So I'm excited to stitch this with Cindy, getting tongue tied. And the ladies, I don't know that I've seen everybody's progress, but keep sharing it because it's fun. And if you guys want to jump in, I'll put the information. I think it's Autumn Moon B-Day Sal. So if you want to tag me or Cindy, that'd be awesome. Joy, I don't know if she started it. I know she keeps saying she wants to, and I don't know if I've seen Amy's. I see Amy, girl, you stitch all the things. So I need to see if you've shared that or not. Anyway, next project. Okay, so this one I also started, surprise, a long time ago. Do we even need to talk stats anymore? These are all old WIPs to me. In my heart, they're all brand new. I'm such a dork. Okay, Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. You guys are no stranger to this one. So I started this in 2023. And I think at that point I've been stitching for about a year. And you just don't, it takes a while to figure out what you like. I think I'm still discovering what I like. So I had stitched this and then ripped it out and stitched it again. So that's where we're at. So this is on, so I started again in 2024 in July, for Christmas in July. And then I thought I would get to it this year, and I have not because I was finishing other Christmas projects. So this is kind of at the top of my list with getting some good progress this year. Because although it's Christmassy, there's like cat hair on it. Although it's Christmassy, I feel like it's just so beautiful. It's fine. It's fine. We can just stitch on it when we want to. I'm sure this is on WIP Go. I think I have, like, this is under 1% though. Like, this chart's so big. It's just not much done. So I think I'm realizing that, and like I just want to get more on it. I don't have any timeline for myself, and I don't know if I'll stitch the words on the bottom or change them, and that hair is bothering me. Sorry. I'm stitching it 1/2 on, I didn't even say yet. Antique 36 count antique white linen with the called for flosses. I love the colors. It's quite a like white background, and I keep going back. I think that was part of my hesitation was, do I do it on a darker linen? But no, I think I'm just gonna keep going with it. Um, yeah, so that's that one. I want to stitch a lot more blackbirds. So some of these things I kind of feel like I feel like my style is like falling into place. I don't want to say it's changing because I stitch quirky stuff and I stitch like elegant stuff and all the things, and I don't know if that'll change, but I really just want to like have a year of like with that needle thread and blackbird, and I don't know. Well, okay. So talk about cute and quirky and complete opposite. This is Snow Leopard 2, I guess. Snow Leopard by Light Unicorn Designs on Etsy. And my niece asked me to stitch her a snow leopard. This isn't huge, but it's not tiny either. I started this for her with the idea that I was going to have it done by like it already be done. And then I got the great idea of starting a million other things. But in that interim, she is 13 right now. So I'm going somewhere with this. In the interim, I had my niece and nephew graduate high school and I gave them each a piece. And so then I thought, well, instead of me trying to rush with this piece, I will make it a graduation present for her. So I have a couple more years. So I did not really, I don't know if you know if I picked this up last year. So this year, I need to get back to it. I did a center start. And here's where it's at. It is, I think it's 32, yeah, 32 count Celestine Lugana. And so it's this beautiful light blue. I am showing you upside down. No, I'm not, am I? Oh, goodness. No, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. You get a little bit of the coloring from the nose. So its nose is right here in the eyes. So it's just a cute little snow leopard. He's starting to come in. I'm doing it 1/2, and it's tighter weave, so it's working out great. I actually really like stitching on this one. It hasn't felt daunting to me for being like, it's not, well, this is full coverage. I'm not stitching the white around the edge, and they have like color splotches. This was probably AI, guys, like, right? Like, I don't know. I bought it years ago. Yeah, I don't want to get into that conversation, but so I'm going to feather the fur out into the fabric, and my goal is to get it done in the next 4 or 5 years for her. So I figured, you know, if I could do 500, 1,000 stitches a month, pull it out a couple days a month, it'll get done. It's adorable. She hasn't asked about it. I think was she 10 or 11? So I don't think she even knows, but I love snow leopards. So if she grows up and says, I don't want that, I will keep it. But I'm loving what is happening with it. I like that the eyes are in. I didn't really know where to start with this one. So I think that was a good call because now I feel like I'm bringing it to life. Okay, back to my love with the needle and thread. I adore this piece. I do not know why. I've seen several people stitching it. I think Lala D finished it last year, Laura. She brightened hers up. I don't know if I brightened mine up. I meant to show you guys. I'll pull it out when I film my regular floss tube, because I didn't pull out any of my flosses. I wasn't thinking. So I don't even know if I told you. Have I been even telling you? Like the last stitch, I'm stitching called for. I don't know if I've been telling you what I'm stitching on. So I love the coloring of this. So I am stitching this on with MPI silks, and I picked colors that like were representative of this by my own palette. So let me give you a little peek see at what I've done so far. And this one I think I need a board for. It is very see-through. This is a very loose weave. This is 36 count silver moon linen. It is a scrap I had from when I did my dad's Star Trek piece. But you can even see on the board how see-through it is. I love stitching on it, honestly. I know some people don't like the looser weaves. This is showing all the wrinkles and creases. I apologize. So when I started this piece, I was gung-ho about it, and I got the border done. It's upside down. I know it probably doesn't matter to you guys. So let's zoom into the error of my ways. So I stitched this. I think this is like, it's over 500 stitches on the top. So let's just talk about this a minute. I did a center start on this scrap because I wanted to make sure it fit. So I decided to start on this line. What is banging? Okay, so it's this. I pinned a little tag that shows what fabric it is, because too many times I've been like, I don't know what fabric it is. And it's like knocking. So let's try to get rid of that. So I started in the middle and went across, and then I came over here, and I don't know if you guys can tell, and this is two different colors green. If it probably doesn't even matter to you. So I went up and around, and it was beautiful, and every stitch was perfect. And then I got the brilliant idea to go back here and stitch and do it, and every stitch is perfect. And then I got back to where I was. I don't know if you can tell. It's a half stitch off. So then I was like, where is the error? Right here. And you might even be able to see it. I didn't see it for a while, and now it's apparent to me. It's not so apparent that, like, if it was hanging on the wall, you would notice. So then it's languished. I love the chart. I have plans for the chart, but it's languished. So I was looking at the chart, and that half stitch, because, you know, I can budget on the frame. Like, I can go back a little bit. Like, my thought was go back up here and do a half stitch off in that area, because you wouldn't notice it as much as like the straight line. So I figured that out, and there's only one stitch between, so you would see the half stitch off. But would anybody ever care? Or do I want to rip this whole part out? The perfectionist in me wants to rip that out. I probably won't. I'll probably get over myself. I'm making some changes on this chart. I've already charted it. I'm excited to stitch it, so I would like to get back into it. I don't think this is a very big chart. Instead of the alphabet, and this is not a knock, I don't dislike alphabets per se, but I'm not drawn to them. So sometimes I stitch them, sometimes I do not. I am going to replace this and make this like a love sampler. So I'm going to be stitching I Am My Beloved's from the Bible verse, and then on one side it's going to say Song of Songs, the other, like with the verse number, and then on the other side it's going to have my initials and my husband's initials. So kind of like and I don't know, I might put our wedding year in there. I'm not sure. But I want to get back to that because I feel like it's not getting worked on because of my error, and I just need to get over myself because I make mistakes in everything all the time. All the time. Okay. Let's see. All right, and here's another one that I thought would be small. Get it done. I don't know. I finish things. So when I see things that I don't finish, I'm like, why are you not finishing that? It's because I'm finishing other things. I fell in love with this one when I saw it. Awake my soul and sing, because there's nothing like feeling alive, right? Um, by Lottie Da, and I'm probably making changes. I didn't even get the floss out. So originally I had called for flosses, and I started this one center bottom start. This was and try a smaller little board for us. This is very, very wrinkled as well. Center bottom start on April 5th of 2025. So not as old of a WIP, right? It is on my WIP Go. I have put, I think, 1,100 stitches in total. So I had last year when I started, I did the vase and a little bit of the stem. So this month I've finished that off, and then I was getting ready to put some blooms in it and pulled the colors and decided I think I want to change the color palette. So these, a lot of them are very bright in person. And I also, with this, I didn't want to stitch the words yet, because if I lighten up the flowers, I might change this out for a different color. I'm not sure yet. And then the other thing I want to change on it is, I don't think I'm going to do the border. I don't dislike the border. I just think it'll be easier to frame without it. So this is on 36 count Tyco linen 1/2, and I feel like it's, besides, if you can get past the wrinkles, my goodness, I usually iron. This is such a gorgeous linen. I just need to get some more of it. I need to get more of it. I need more of all the linens. Let's be real on that. I've been trying. Well, I haven't had the energy to shop, guys, but I've been trying to like be good. Whatever that means. So I think if I skip the border, I'm about 25% done. So for only stitching this a couple times, it's not a big piece. It is my WIP Go for this month, so I do plan on pulling it out on at least one more day and getting some color into it. So that'll be fun to see it come together. And I'm gonna say it. This one doesn't get enough love. Rejoice evermore with thy needle and thread. I adore it. When I started it, I really thought that my color, so I picked my own colors similar to these, and I thought I want to make it more muted. And actually, quite the opposite has happened. And I'm in love with it. So here she is. This piece is, I want to say, yeah, it's about 40% done. So down here where this is, it goes just a tad bit further. So you see so that's the bottom. So I was gonna lighten it up a little bit, but then I got to these blues, and they show a lot brighter than I was expecting, but I kind of love it. So when I got to the next row, of course, I had to keep adding the pops of color, and I kind of love it. And I was looking at this. I don't know what it is about this little motif here, but I really think I need to stitch that in all my free time and just kind of finish this off. and then maybe even put a little bit of the border on it. I don't know, but just this little motif as like a little needle book. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that little tulip thing or whatever it is that draws me, because that's not tulip. I don't know what this is. It's artistic. So I wanted to mention on this that there are satin stitches that go in here. And instead of doing them now, especially because I stitch in hand, I don't want to like ruffle that and mess them up. And I've heard other people talk about it that are way more experienced than I, that say do the satin stitches last so that they lay flat and beautiful and don't get messed with. So those will be going in, but they will be going in last. And my thought is, I really want to stitch Oh Joyous Day, and I did the measurements, and this will finish at about 12 by 12. And Oh Joyous Day is not as wide, but if I stitch it, did I tell you what this is on? No? This is stitched 1/2 on 40 count fiber on a WIP cappuccino. So my thought was with Oh Joyous Day stitched on 36 count, and it will be 12 inches tall. And it'll be skinnier. It'll be between 9 and 10 inches wide. And that's fine. But I thought if I stitched it with the same color palette, how pretty would that be? So I think I'm going to have to go ahead and get that and get it kitted up for when I'm finished with this one. And this one I love stitching on, like all of the rest. I think there's very few stitches that I have that are like, just get it done. Most of them I love stitching on. So that one is on my WIP Go and has no plans aside from that. Sadness. Yeah, I think that's everything about that one. Again, this is another one that I thought I was market of 2024, and I thought, oh, this is quick. And I set my goal to be a 3-month stitch. In 2024, here we are. So it is getting progress. And this is Proverbs 31 Sampler by Plum Street. A deceptive amount of stitches in such a small little piece. All the words are over 1. I really don't like over 1 on linen. I find that my stitches can slide through and I have to be, it's just slower. It's just slower. I absolutely adore this linen. It's Fox and Rabbit paperbark. Yeah, Fox and Rabbit paperbark. And I need to get more Fox and Rabbit. I have a couple and I don't know why. Whatever their process is, it's just delightful. So I'm staying pretty true to colors. I made the house a little more teal. So this is where it's at. I do have some of the words in. And this is on, so I have a priority list of a few stitches, like Castle Celebration I would like to get done. This is a priority stitch. I absolutely love it. So I'm stitching 1/2 on 32 count. It's at 74%. So it's close. And I was thinking, so there's a swan that goes down here. And I was trying to do it in white and it did not show up at all. So on the pattern, it's really hard to see. There are white stitches. Well, it's shown up on camera easier. So there are white stitches in it. And like, you know, from back here, you really don't see it. So I'm changing those to something that you can see. I was thinking about like the pink that's in it or the mauve color, or I'm not sure. But I really wanted a white swan and he's not showing up. So yeah, excited to get this one done. I know I had trouble in the beginning with the flosses the variation was not showing in the colors. so then I think that's what stalled me, was just having to pick a few new colors. And so I found this little mauve color that works perfect, and I don't know, I feel like it's coming together. So that one's on the short list to get done. The next WIP I have for you is Fractal Birds by Al Stitching House. I feel like this I started for a 12 by 12. Yeah, I did. In 2024, I started this in January, something for a second. And I wanted to, like, I thought it would be a quick stitch. So I started it, I worked on it for a day or two, and then I hadn't picked it up again. And then in 2025, I picked it up again for a day or two. So it's got a couple thousand stitches in it, but as I started stitching more, like, the colors are beautiful. But what I realized was when I started stitching it, they're very, very bright for my taste. So I'm stitching this on a yellow, which is African Daisy, 28 count African Daisy Jobelin. And I stitched the edge. It was started fraying terribly. I think it came that way. Let's not look at that. That's not pretty. So I'm stitching it 2 over 2, and so there is a thread up here. So I was stitching along and getting the leaves in, and then I realized I messed up something right here. So I have to frog a little bit, but it's just this little strand, and then it got put down. And then I pulled it out again to work on it, and I was looking at the coloring, because I'm stitching it with DMC. Nothing wrong with DMC. I stitch with a lot of DMC. I'm not saying it in that light. I'm just saying this one's harder to hold. I don't know why. Let's just look at half it. So, but the colors, when I started pulling out the palette, it's so bright. So this is like a bright blue. And on the picture, if you can see, like, the pink and the blue and the orange, and it's got really, and I think it would come together like beautifully, but it's not really my taste. So I am going to frog the blue, and I'm going to make it a little more muted, earthier colors. So I might do that with these greens too. There are some greens here, and I think those are fine. So I might pull out the bright, bright colors. There's another orange that goes in here, and I might tone that down, but it's on a yellow. And so the bright colors suit the yellow. I just don't know if it'll suit my home. So that one is 32% done. So this is 32%. So that's just a couple days of working on it. I think it'll go fast once I figure out what I'm doing with it. Like I said, these older WIPs, some of them, like, I like it, but it's not something that it's like my heart is into. But with these, she has a whole series. And I think that's one reason why I'm kind of like torn, because I want to do the whole series, but I want to get the coloring right, because I think it'd be cool to, because they're completely different pieces, but they'll coordinate. And so even my linen choice and it being yellow, is it going to stand out if I stitch the next one on something else? So maybe I am a chronic overthinker and just need to get the piece done. I don't know. The next one I absolutely am not in love with, and I probably should just be done with it. And it's not the design, it's me. Tent Maker Smalls, Carolyn Manning. I don't know. So I started this for Manning May 2024, and I'm stitching it on a fabric that I dyed, and I am really torn with the colors because it's a bright green, and I'm at about 50%. So this is an 18 count Ada. It was light antique blue, and then I overdyed it, so it's dark antique blue. Some of the blue showing through, I really, really love. So even though it's like at 50%, I think I want to leave, instead of it being completely filled in here, I think I'm going to leave a lot of the blue showing. So I just need to, and I think that's what stalled me, was where do I go next with this one? Like, what stitches do I put in if I'm going to change it? So I think like all of this, I want to leave and then just finish off the corners somehow. So, because I think that'll be really cute. Like, I don't love it because the bright greens and I don't know. Um, but I think once it's done, like I can see this being like a box top or something, like to go on a little wooden box and just be stunning. So it's a little piece, like I said, 50%. Maybe in May I'll pull it out and just work through my issues and get it done. So this next piece, I will pop in a picture, Snowflower Diaries, Strawberry Serenade. I do not have the chart printed for this one. So I started this for Strawberry Moon last year, June 25th. And it's actually, there's two pieces in the chart. She is on Etsy. She's very, very active on Instagram. I think her name's Maya. She filmed a floss tube. I don't know if she's filmed more than one or two. I need to go back and see because sometimes your feed doesn't tell you. But I absolutely love her designs. So I stitched this adorable little, this is a Roxy floss scrap from the Advent a couple years ago. So this is 1/2 40 count. Adorable little strawberry piece. I just love the way the colors popped on this fabric. I'm pretty sure it's a fabric she has available. I don't have the name on here. My other fabric is 40 count tin roof linen, and I have trouble on this fabric. I realize that it's the fabric, and I don't know why my eyes struggle with this fabric. So I got that far, which is like, it's 61%. So, I started the bird, so there's birds, and then it's like almost done. So I will get this done. I was trying to show both of these. That like the fabrics go really good together. And my thought was if I had the two pieces sitting by each other, I didn't want it to be matchy matchy. So that was why they're on two different fabrics. And then, um, yeah, so I think this fabric wears my eyes down somehow. And I can't figure it out because the tin roof projects I struggle with. And I love this color. It's like a little bit gray, brown, green. I don't know. It's like darker. I feel like it's like if you look at it, it's like that color. It's like darker than it's reading. So yeah, I love the color and I don't know why. So I just have to be mindful of that if I pick it to stitch on, that I can give myself grace with the few amount of stitches I get in it. Um, it's, let's just talk about comparison. We're not trying to compare anything to anybody. And I think sometimes we forget that we need to not compare it to ourselves. I have like this board sitting up here. Like, what am I doing? Okay, and speaking of comparison and goals and things and getting down on ourselves, this was supposed to be a gift last September and it didn't get gifted. And I was really upset because I was in the middle of construction and my husband said, "Nobody knows but you." I was like, "Oh, cool." So then I just put it away and didn't even pick it back up. This is Sherlock Dachshund by Cross Stitch Patterns on Etsy, patterns with 1T. And I'm stitching this. Now, I want to tell you, the last time I picked this up was last June, and I got all the stitching in, and the only thing that needed to be done, or still needs to be done, is all the back stitch. It's probably like a day or two of stitching. It's not even that bad. There's different colors of back stitch, but the chart, she has a separate chart just for the back stitch. So it's like not even hard to see or anything. So I'm stitching this for a friend who has a dachshund named Watson. There's their puppy is darker in color, but I didn't want to deal with color changes. And he is a Sherlock fan. And so I have him stitched. He's a little bit naked because he doesn't have any back stitch. And this is 1/2 on 36 count Picture This Plus Tyco linen. And I stitched it on a big piece of fabric in the center because he's like a long dog. And I wanted to be able to put it in a normal frame. And I picked out a frame, and really nice frame, and then the corner got chipped, and I'm like, do I putty it or try to find a new frame? And so I don't want to get something cheap. Like I wanted a wood frame, which is like hard to come by these days unless you get custom. So I'm on the hunt for a frame. So he'll get it this year for his birthday and we'll be none the wiser, right? So I stitched this 1/2, but I did do 2/2 on the nose and like the shadowing. I felt like it needed that, and also on the white, like on the newspaper here. Um, but everything else is 1/2. Of course, these are like half stitches on the grass, but the coverage is really good for 1/2 on 36. I just wanted those to pop, and actually, I don't know if you can see it. It actually gives the nose some dimension too. So I think that's pretty cool. So no rush on this, but I do want to just get it off of my WIP list because I think I just feel a little intimidated by getting the back stitches going because there's so many and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I need to quit overthinking it. The next piece is, oh, I don't have my picture. I don't know why. I'll pop a picture in. I don't have my chart on this one, so who knows what I did with it. This is Scheherazade's Dream. I finally learned how to say it, and it's called 1001 Nights. It's from Aladdin, the story of Aladdin, and I don't know how it ties into Aladdin, but I fell in love with the design. So 2023 market, it's definitely a big girl. It's 445 by 307. So I'm just gonna show you. It's like, it will be this big. Like it will take up the whole, whatever piece of fabric this is. I feel like it's a quarter, but it's long, so I'm not sure. It must be something that I cut off from the half. So it will be this big. It is huge. I am at 1%, and I put in over 4,000 stitches. And I am stitching on 46 count. So it's that big and it's 46 count. Marble Bunny linen from XJU Designs. Let's see. So I think the linen's showing up pretty well. So this is what I have in. I did a center start. And I don't have all the center stitched, but when I started stitching, I was hesitant with the colors. I don't know why, the floss colors. And maybe part of it is the fabric. I think I just have to hold less. But I love how these colors are coming together. I love the pop of blue, which we saw in Rejoice Evermore. There's just something about that makes my heart happy, I guess. So I don't even know. I know I've shared this before. It gets pulled out occasionally. And I know that 2025, I started on the baby bits. The baby bits I've got done. I started on the border and jumped up there because I thought it would be nice to like work in the middle and then work on some border because it's a very intricate border. Very, very intricate. So I love this one, and it has no timeline. This is one piece, so I wanted to share it and I haven't yet, but I bought a scroll frame from Evertote. It's a lap stand one, and so I wanted to put this specifically, I was thinking because it's so big, on that. And there's a couple more pieces I'd like to put on there, and we'll see if I like it. Like all my bigger ones can go on there, but I bought a couple of the frames, so that one specifically I wanted to get on there. So then maybe we'll start seeing more progress if it gets pulled out more. But I love the fabric. It's absolutely delightful to stitch on. I think that's my first maybe my first 46 count, my only 46 count, and I'm stitching with DMC. And so it's really full coverage. And that's the thing is, like, if you get up into the higher counts, typically people will stitch like with 103s and stuff so that the floss fits the whole size better. But with that one, I'm doing fine with DMC. So I think, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, next piece is Long Journey by Maura Marin. And I know Helen D picked this up last year. I started this, no, I don't know when I started this. Let's turn the page. 2024. I started this in April of 2024. And I know other people are stitching it. But Helen, I think she started at the bottom, or she started I don't remember. I started in the middle. I decided to do a middle start. Also, hers is on Etsy. So if you go to Maura Marin website, she has links to her Etsy shops. She has 2 different Etsy shops. This has been renamed. I bought this off of her website, I believe. This has been renamed, and she has this in this Stitchy Coven or something. But then she has another website or another link to Etsy, an Etsy shop that's her other Etsy shop, and it's all confusing to me, and it's not called The Long Journey, and I don't know, but to me it's known as Long Journey. And the chart says The Long Journey, it says A Long Journey. I don't think it really matters as long as we know what we're stitching. So this is 32 count, Old Sheep by Extra U, and it is 1/2, I think. Yeah, 1/2. Pretty good coverage for 1/2, so I'm fine with it. You can see it. I have made the babyest progress on my piece. So for starting it in 2024, that's pretty pathetic. I started with the ring because that's what you shall do with Lord of the Rings, right? I don't know. It makes me happy every time I pull it out. It's a lot of color changes. It's the called for DMC that I'm stitching with, because like if you see in the middle here, like even in the leaves, there's a lot of variegation with her color changes. And I thought, why mess with something if it ain't broke? So again, this one's on WIP Go. It languishes. I have a couple more Lord of the Rings pieces that I want to get to. So I really want to get that one done, but I also want to be realistic with myself that if it takes the year or so, that's what it's going to take. And I think, did I tell you everything? I'm at 14% on that. So I'm getting there. I'm over 10%. I'm good, right? Okay, the next one is an oldie but a goodie. So I started this as my first sew to stitch, and so far it's been my only sew to stitch. It's Romeo and Juliet. I was drawn to it because I just thought it was a cute little love piece, because I like fantasy and medieval stuff, and my wedding colors were purple and yellow, and that's a story for another day because we don't want to go down the wedding rabbit hole. But I started stitching this on 32 count Sprite Lugana 2/2, and it's tight, and so it just does not get the love that it deserves. So this was, I started it, I didn't start it when they started the stitch along. I started it in January 2024. It is 65% done, and I'm loving how it's coming out, but it's such a tight stitch. Every time I pull it out, I'm like, it hurts my hand. And then I'll stitch on it a couple days and then it gets put away. So my thought was maybe this could be like a thread a day so that I'm not like trying to put in a ton of progress, because I think it's very cute. So there's, you have to finish his legs, and then we get into the outline. So I love this piece. I want it done. These aren't really my colors. I'm not a big purple, like pastel type person, but it is on a purple Lugana. I think it'll be really, really cute. And I might add like, this is another one I could totally like put something wedding related. Like there was a poem that was read, like maybe I could put that or something, not the whole poem, but just like a line from it or something on it. I don't know. I might just leave it. It's close to my heart, but I don't even know where it would fit in my house because it's so playful. Now, this is another one from Market 2020, what year? 4. And I have not seen anybody else stitch on this. I don't know. I fell in love with it when it came out. Let No Net Ensnare Me. It's Sarah Newton sampler from 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers. And I purchased this at Market and then I started it. Oh, it's like that was 2023 Market. I started it in 2024 for New Year's Eve. I'm at 34% and I'm stitching 1/2 on 36 count cappuccino linen. And I know I have stitched on this since you guys have seen it last. Um, so there's the border is like you see how small or big the piece is. I think for a sampler, it's not huge. In my opinion, it's not tiny. I put 3,700 stitches in and I am at, did I say I'm at 34%? So I wanted to start filling in some of the middle here. Now I made a couple changes. My bird is a teal instead of a brighter blue, and around the edge, I'm using variegated floss for this red. I think it's baked apple. I didn't pull my flosses today. But in the chart, this is 2 different colors. Like you outline it and then fill it in here. And I decided to just stitch this piece in 2 colors instead of having the 3 in there. And I'm loving that. And then in my bird, I think I messed up one of like the purplish line. I think I filled it in the wrong line and just went with it, but I think the balance is there, so it's okay. And then with the chart, one thing that I'm going to be doing, and I know some people are really anxious to see it, so I would like to start doing that, is these blocks of color. I want to actually soften that and make it not so blocky. And I know with reproductions, some people want to stitch what's there, and some people want to stitch what used to be there. And from what I've seen, a lot of these reproductions, some colors fade and change. And part of me wonders if there was more color to define these flowers because you see the outline is not so sharp. And so I wonder if it actually looked different. And part of my thought process with this is you see the definition up here of the roses. And I thought, I bet that definition was in there because, like, you can see the shape. Like this little thing that is a leaf or all green, these were probably buds or whatnot. And maybe I'm overthinking that too, and that it's really just a big block of color. But this isn't a big block of color, and that's not a big block of color. So I don't want this to be a big block of color. And I know it's extra work. I don't want to overthink it too much, but I think I'm going to change these into flowers and try to give them a softer line. So I want to get back to that. And the border has been really fun to stitch. I haven't had any trouble with it. I know sometimes borders, it's monotonous or it's hard to count and I just, honestly, it's just been, again, I don't know which way I am. It's been really, really easy to stitch. So for your sake and mine, I just need to figure out what I'm doing with that and get it moving. 35% is not bad though, right? It's not bad. Unlike this next one, it's at 1%. I started this 2024 for a birthday start in April. My birthday is April 8th. And this is called Earth Goddess by Joan Elliott Design. And I love this. I just love woods. So instead of like Earth Goddess, in my mind, this is called Lady of the Woods. I don't know. This might turn out to be a gift piece for my sister. I love it, but I know she would love it too. So. Anyway, I am not stitching the runes, but I started stitching it with the call for floss, and I am on, let's see, what is this? 1/1 on Picture This Plus 36 count Velt linen. So here's the linen color. And I started this in a Mira at the same time, and I think the Mira is my last project. So it's coming soon. And then I realized I was going to do one month and one the next month and make like teeter-totter and make progress on both of them. And then the issue with this one happened, and I think, okay, let's look at this. So I'm stitching the skirt, and the flat line is where her arm is on here. So not that it matters to you guys, but directionality, I think, I don't know. I think it's like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm loving the colors. I know that there are a couple bright colors charted that I might switch out to make it more neutral, but I'm loving it. So I'm stitching, there's her bodice, and then I'm stitching her skirts. And as you see on this linen, it's like chef's kiss, right? Like it's so pretty. There's a counting error somewhere here, and I can't find it. I can't find it. And so I got stalled out on this one, and I don't care about fixing it. I just don't want to mess up like alongside it if I can't find it. So that one's going to take a little more brain power to figure out where I'm going with that. And again, I don't know, like, if there's something wrong right here, as long as it lays flat, it's not going to matter too much. I was surprised. Like, if you look at this, that is very dark, like brown. And this is very greenish gold. So I was surprised by that, but I'm going with it. So that, again, I don't know what the color changes. If I get to like the skirts, the rest of the skirts look dark. If they're going to be like super bright or something, then I'll just change it. Because I love the picture. Like, don't we just fall in love with the pictures, right? Okay, let's move this right along. So the next stitch is 12 Days of Christmas Stockings, and this I've been stitching on since it came out. This was a market purchase. I started it in Christmas in July, and I got it in 2024, and I thought I will have these done. I'll stitch one a month, and I'm getting there, but it's on the dreaded tin roof, and I don't know why I struggle with it. So it's 1/2 on 36 count tin roof, and here is where we're at. So I have 10 of them complete, although there's no shortage of errors. I'll try to go through them a little bit more close up. Because I changed the color, my fabric color so drastically, I kind of was trying to pick things that would go, and then somewhere along the way, I put the wrong floss color in, and then I just kept going with it. So my browns it's very, very neutral in that regard. And I love it. I don't have any of the beads in yet. So here is just like a little flip through. I love the muted colors. I do want to make these into little ornaments for my tree. They are, how tall are they? Like 5 inches maybe tall? Maybe. I do want to turn them into real stockings, like with a pocket. So I love the calling birds. So you see how like just neutral it is. My goose's neck is messed up and nobody will notice but me, I'm sure. And the 5 golden rings, they are not so golden. I put the wrong color in and then I just left it. I think I was just over it. So I in consideration after seeing this many of them done, I do want to rip the browns out and make it pop. Because it's even in my bag. The golden color that was supposed to go there is in my bag. So that'll get a brighter color there. And again, it's one of those things that because I'm doing it kind of rustic colored, nobody would care. Oh yeah, maybe it's not my goose. Maybe, no, it's my goose. I don't know, maybe it was my swan. One of them. Maybe my goose is fine and it's my swan that got the wrong count. And I just left it. I mean, it's fine, right? It's fine. I had to adjust a little bit around him and he's good. So there's the swan and 8 maids milking and 9 ladies dancing. And this I used, I don't remember what colors they were. So I was trying to not, I don't know, I overthink things, but I like the pinks in that. And then the last one I just finished up for this month. So this is going to be on my Christmas. I guess it's Nicole Spore's doing the WIP Go for Christmas. I don't know that I'm going to, I want to do the WIP Go, like, because I want to, it's not really a WIP Go, it's just a bingo board, because I want to do a Christmas one every month, but I'm not starting that because I'm cheating until I'm done with these. So I'm going to stitch 11 and 12, and then by March or April, because this technically was finished this month, I will start in on other ornaments. So I do want to stitch 1 ornament a month. So he has a lot of red. I did change his pant color. I can't show you the charts because they're next to the actual chart, the picture is. So I'm sorry about that. But I believe that it was maybe a brown or a golden color, and so I changed it to the green so it wasn't so brown on here. So what do we have? 11. Is it pipers and drummers? I don't remember. Is this the pipers? What do we have? What do we have? So I know the next 2 average about 800 stitches each, which I can typically do in just 2 or 3 days. Yeah, it's pipers, piping, and drummers drumming is what's left. And I'm super excited about finishing these and getting into that process. Of all the things that I want to finish, I don't think that one will be too difficult. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do cording because, like I said, I wanted to, I have no idea. I'm just excited to try it. I'm just excited to try it. Okay, so this next one, I misplaced my chart. I started this in December. It was kind of a random pull it out and just get it going. So I'll pop in a picture. This is no stranger to you guys. It's Christmas Bells. Is that Heartstring Sampler? I don't know whose this chart this is. Which way is up? I don't know which way is up. The Christmas Bells, and this is being stitched on soft ivory, 40 count soft ivory linen 1/2 with just colors I picked that were similar to the called for. And so I had this in a bag, a kitting bag with this and one other project, and I pulled out the wrong linen. So this is this big, and I don't care. The color's different, but it's fine. And the problem I have is I had that pre-cut for that other piece, and I don't know that the fabric I had picked out for this that will fit on. So now I'm like kind of kicking myself, but I had already stitched like at least a whole leg of this before I realized it, and I was not going to unpick that. I don't know if I'm holding this in the right direction. I feel like, I think this is right. So I started on the bottom. Let's just talk about the problems, the miscounting that we have. So I started on the bottom and I went around and I went up and I went around. And this was December. So, you know, you're doing all the things in December. And I was actually not expecting to get as far as I did. So this is, I think I said 1/2. And I've already put, in December, I put 3,000 stitches in. Who am I? So it's like at 30%. And part of me was like, you should do the bells and flowers as you go along because then you won't make as many mistakes. But it's kind of such a loose, fluid thing that I was like, okay, I'm doing okay, like extra counting. So down here in the bottom where I started, we'll just balance that in our hair, like stick. There you go. I added 1 stitch down, but then up here, somehow I added 1 stitch up. So like, I think this is fine over here. But then I work way around because of course you get to the end and you're like, it's not lining up. And then you're kind of like, I don't know. So the top is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I think here I miscounted 1 stitch, which is fine. I could totally take 1 stitch out right here and this will match up perfectly and everything will fit fine. My only concern and why I stopped was, okay, so the reason I haven't put any of the reds in is because I accidentally picked the wrong fabric, so now I want to change my reds. So I was just going with greens. I don't know if you can see, there's actually 2 different colors of green there. So there is variation in the flosses, which I'll show next time. And so it's going to have the silver bells, it's going to have the words, everything's good, right? Like, my only concern, I don't even care about what's off, is that since this one, I think I brought down 1, and this one I think is down, actually down 1. So I think they'll line up at the bottom. I just didn't want to finish stitching all of these sleeves and then find out that, and I don't know why I didn't do that sooner, like count, or why I didn't start here and go this way. Like, I don't know. But I want to make sure that the corners are on the same level because like if there's 2 stitches different, when I frame it, it's going to look weird. So I just need to do a little bit of counting in this corner and then get on with it. But this is what I wanted done. And I think if I just put like even 1 day a month, I think I can make significant progress and then maybe finish it in July. So I'm not sure about that one, but it will get pulled back out and you guys are going to be seeing a lot of progress on that once I do my little bit of counting. Okay, I've only got 5 left, and if you hear something, that would be the cat at the door. The next piece I have, I again had high hopes that it would be done in a year. It is sitting at 38%, so it's not terrible, but it did not get done in a year. I started this for the Year in the Dragon Sal. This is Star Dragon. I don't think it says it on there. Star Dragon. Hold please. There's a cat making lots of noise. Okay, sorry, cat. So I started this for Year of the Dragon Sal, I think in 2024. Somehow I didn't write down my start. It's 1/2 on 40 count soft ivory linen. And I decided, well, let me just show you on the picture real quick. I decided to be brilliant and change the colors. So my dragon's a different color. And as you can see, it's almost halfway up. So here's my thought. I went cool colors on the dragon and he is blue and purple. Now I wanted a blue dragon and I don't want to talk about it, but I just did. And so the bottom is gorgeous. Because Al Forest is, are they in Russia maybe? I don't know. I did not want to pay for shipping to get their flosses because they're to die for. So I picked my own that were similar. And I love them, but adding the cool to the warm might be a mistake. Maybe. And then I got busy because this was last, I think June that I was stitched on this last. I'm not sure. And then I got busy with house stuff. So there's no reason I haven't picked it up. But I was going to continue on these colors around it, and maybe it won't be such a stark difference once I've stitched around it. So my thought was I can frog the purple and put a warmer color in there and tie it in better if I don't like it in the end. So I'm excited to get back to this. I'm kind of sad that I didn't stick to my goals on that one, but it'll get there when it gets there. And I do love it. I love that piece. There's several Owl Forest. Owl Forest is one of those things I think I will always have ongoing. Like I love it. Okay, speaking of love, this next one is stitched in silk, and I love silk. If you guys have not stitched in silk, I think the fabric choice matters. I think more than anything besides flosses, if I have the right fabric, I love a piece. I think this is my first long dog. I was waiting, whatever I wanted to stitch was out of stock, and so I picked this one, and I love it. It's the Galliard, which means the dance. It's a dance. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like a rooftop view, but not like, staring right down like at a castle. I could just see like the flags are blowing in the wind and I don't know, like the turrets and it's just artistic and I love it. And it took me a minute to find the flosses for this because this was going to be my leap year SAL. And then it just turned into just stitch it when you stitch it. I love the little animals on there. And this is all filled in. So according to the chart, I'm at less than 1%. So let me show you mine. I'm stitching 1/2 on 36 count picture this plus Highland linen, which is very colorful. And I didn't get I'll talk about it when I pull it out next time, but so you see the colors here, like this grayish, bluish, whatever this is, and the yellower colors. So those are the other two floss colors that I have. They pretty much match perfectly. I don't think I intended for that to happen, but it is what happened. And I think it's this side up, but it doesn't really matter. It's the crease in the middle. So I've only stitched on this a couple days. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. This is a one color. It's variegated, but it's just the one color so far. And my thought was if I could do 1/4 of it a year. So I'm really loving it. And my thought with the fill-in on here is I might not. I think I'm going to just pick elements to fill in instead of the whole thing. To add pops of the depth because I love the background so much. And I've actually really enjoyed stitching on this. And again, I don't know if it's the fabric, the pattern, the floss. It's all coming together. I absolutely adore it. And I don't make it a priority because I don't see, like there's always something else, I don't know. And again, this is probably my oldest WIP and I don't make it priority because I keep bumping things ahead of it. We're back to Zelda, and so I've been stitching on Koroks, and before that I was stitching on another piece. So once the Koroks are done, I'm stitching this one. I love this one. If you know, you know. This is artwork by One Tiza that somebody, who was it? Glitch Stitch AU turned into a cross stitch pattern. I started bottom center, so I have this tiny little portion that I'm doing. And I know there's like lines back here and such that I will not be stitching. I don't think, because that's kind of, I think, a wall, but I don't think I might stitch it. I don't know. This is on 32 count Gothic. I started this and then restarted it because it's 32 count 2/2. And then after I got into it, I restarted it 1/1. So here's my fabric. And I feel like it's a gorgeous fabric for this piece. If I can show you, like, the coloring of it. There we go. I think the coloring, I think it'll be beautiful. So here's my bitty bitty baby progress. And the colors are popping beautifully. So a little bit of that waterfall. It's probably a little more progress that I folded over. So I have done less than 1%. It's like 4,000 stitches. So it's a big, big chart. And it's, again, it's one of those that's like, I just want to give it the attention that it deserves. Because I do want this one on my wall. Like, this is one that, like, I gush at. Stitching it with called for flosses. I don't think there's any much else to say about that. The next one I thought would be quick, and it's not for me. I started it May in Mania 2024, and then the last 2 autumns I have not had much stitching, so it's gotten very little. Hello from Liz Matthews. I'm not going to be stitching All Hallows Eve. Part of me wants to put words in there because I love the border and the space, like the airiness of it. So I don't know if I'll put give thanks or just stitch the pumpkins, or I don't know. I don't know. But I'm loving how it's coming out. It is on 32 count Manny Donna burnt sand linen. And there's the entirety of it. I will try to get closer here. I kind of this year, the first year I stitched on just the center pumpkin, and then this year I kind of wanted to see like how wide it was, so I started going across. I also wanted to check my colors because I picked my own colors instead of what was charted. So I love how it's coming along. Did I say I'm at 18%? So if I can't, guys, I just don't know how to hold this one. If I skip the words, I'm probably a little further than 18%. But this is one that I thought, I'll get that done quick. And then it's just kind of been sitting. So I really want to, it's kind of blowing out a little bit. I don't know why this one, even back here, it doesn't. It's reading really variegated, and the fabric, I don't know if it's because there's nothing behind it. It's really not. It's more solid. It's more solid. Anyway, I think that'll be gorgeous when it's done, and just a nice autumn piece to, I probably will frame it, I think. And the moment we've all been waiting for. Not really. My very last WIP for today. Now, I want to preface this with, if there's something here that you have not seen that you've seen me work on in the past, do not fret. It either means I finished it or it's going to get restarted. I have 2 or 3 things that are going to get restarted, but almost everything has been finished if it's not here. So this is a Midsummer's Night Dream. Did I say that right? No, I did not. That's like the story. A Midsummer's Night Fairy by Mirabilia. So this is my first Mira. There's a few of them I would like to do. I don't want to go crazy, I don't think. I don't know where they would go in my house, but I do love them. I love them. I love watching other people stitching them. And I started again on this one and thought it would be done super fast. Like in a year it'll be done. And here it sits. It's at 30%. And I started on her train, or her dress rather. This is 32 count. Picture this plus jazz linen. And me being new to Miras, I messed up the stitching. I believe this is 1/2. And I don't know if you can tell, it's pretty good coverage. I think it's like, for me, it's really good coverage. that's not the problem. On Mira's, some layers of color are supposed to be 2 or 3 over instead of 1, so it gives it that depth, and I just didn't do it. I didn't do it. So here's where I am on the picture. I've gotten like all of this done pretty much. Where there are gaps, that is where beads go. And this is heavily beaded. So I don't know if this will be good on the scroll frame. And that's why I started down here, is because there's so many beads that it was easier for me to start like getting some of the floss in first. So I don't know if this would be good on the scroll frame. If you know, if you stitch on a scroll frame, let me know. Like, is this something that I should pop on there so that I can get the beads going? Because that's kind of, I didn't mean to stop on it, but I don't know stitching in hand if doing the beading in a more structured format would be better. So let me know about that. And that concludes. Did I say I did this on with called for floss? I don't know. I don't know half of what I said. But that concludes my little bitty WIP parade. And thank you for joining me. And I am so excited to be back. I think like I said, I'm going to do a finish parade of things, and then the next FLOSSTUBE here in a week or two. I would like to talk about plans and get back into like normal FLOSSTUBE stuff. All the goodness. But thank you for joining me. I am planning on, I've stitched a lot. I've put in probably almost 20,000 stitches this month. So that's a lot. And I know that once I start up on house projects again, that like that's going to wane a little bit, but so I'm taking advantage of it. My pile's here. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm touching it. I need to, and hopefully putting this stuff away won't be too hard. I hope that works for you guys. If you guys don't like it or you want me to change something about the way I do the WIP parade, just let me know. I just thought with pulling out all the flosses and stuff, things get so jumbled and it takes so long, and it's already been over an hour, maybe almost 2, right? And so it's long. But with my normal floss tubes, I share the floss and all of that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, if I left anything out, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for more cross stitch goodness. Thank you for joining me again. Everybody stay safe and warm as the crazy weather comes in, and I will see you soon.